quarantine day, who can even remember at this point? Here we are in the midst of a global crisis, and one of the worst things that's happening is the fact that we have to stay home. We can't go out like we normally do. We can't go out and shop with our friends. We can't go hunting with our buddies. We just have to stay home and find some way to not go crazy through all of this. Many people who are stuck at home or even just don't have anything to do suffer from boredom. Boredom is very serious. It's a disease, and many people suffer from it globally. Boredom is the result of an underused imagination. So that imagination's little muscles, they're so weak that when you're sitting there, you can't think of anything to do. You can think and think and think, but your mind is just blank, and many of us resort to just doing nothing on our phones because we're bored and because we can't think of anything else to do. Although, even though boredom is so widespread, there is a cure, and there are many cures for boredom. So, boredom has many different causes. Monotony is a factor that leads to boredom. Doing the same exact thing every single day over and over and over. Many of us in our normal lives can be affected by boredom. You get up, go to class, go to work, do your homework, and go to bed, and it's the same thing day after day after day. Many of us don't try to change our routines. We just keep doing the same thing over and over and over. Monotony, the same thing. Another thing that can cause boredom is procrastination. When you've got so many things to do, so many homework assignments, so many things to do around the house, so many things to do for work, that you just keep putting it off because it's just too much. When you're putting off all of that stuff that you need to do, that can cause you to actually feel more bored than you really should, because you feel like you don't have anything to do because you're avoiding the things that you really need to do. So procrastination is another fact that can cause boredom. But like I said, there are so many cures for overcoming boredom. And here's a few tips for you to be able to overcome boredom. So, number one, you can try and take up a new hobby. So when you see your grandma sitting there knitting, you may say, "Hey grandma, would you teach me how to knit?" And who knows, you might be the best knitter that the world has ever seen, and you'll just be knitting pot holders and socks and all kinds of things. Or maybe you'll see your little sister or your little brother painting, and you can try to paint with them, and you can try and take up a new hobby. So another way to beat boredom is you can sleep. You can try and just sleep your life away, because if you're sleeping, there's no way you can be bored. So you can just lay in bed, relax, and sleep, and do nothing but sleep, and you can sleep your boredom away. A third option is you can call the crazy relatives that your mother always told you to avoid. You know, Aunt Edna, the one with the beard? Yeah, her. I bet that she is a really interesting person, and so during this quarantine, you can call those crazy relatives that you never thought you'd actually want to speak to. So, boredom is a disease, but there are so many cures for it that it's not something we need to worry about. But we must be careful to prevent the spread of boredom, because it is easier to catch than COVID-19. So, boredom's a disease with many different causes, but there are many different ways that you can overcome boredom.